In this lecture, we are going to start working with LinkedIn integration. So as we know that LinkedIn is a professional network or professional platform where you can go and grow your professional networks for your career growth. You can connect with the multiple people there, and you might also get the jobs and all. There are various ways you can use LinkedIn. Companies are using, people are using. So we are going to integrate our LinkedIn platform with the Salesforce. So what we are going to do is we will create a visual force page which we are using in all the integrations, and then we are going to create a free LinkedIn developer account. Basically, you already have that developer account. We just need to link with that your existing LinkedIn account. We are going to read the authentication API and then implement that inside our Salesforce environment. So let's quickly start with the very basic first step, which is we need to create a page. So from the setup, we are going to quickly create a new visual force page, and like all the integrations, we are going to name it as LinkedIn token. So we said QuickBooks token, we said Google token, and this is the third integration that we are doing. So I will say LinkedIn token. Let's enable it for Lightning environment. Just quick save it and then preview it. So now what we are going to do is we're just going to copy this, or just let this be open, and we will use whenever we need while creating our applications. So now what we need to do is let's quickly create a custom metadata. In the custom metadata, what we need is we need to store our LinkedIn credentials so that we can store the access token and all. We are did for all these Google and QuickBooks as well. So like others integration, we already have a custom metadata over here. We have created with various fields that we need. And what if you click on this manage, you will see that there is no metadata that has been created as of now. We are going to first create a new developer account. So what you need to do is you just need to visit linkedin.com/developer. If you don't remember that, you can just go to the Google and just say LinkedIn developer account, and the first link that you will get is click on that, and you will be redirected to the same page which we just opened. Now what you need to do is you just need to click on create app once you are logged in into your LinkedIn. If you can see, there is my profile picture and I'm already logged in into linkedin.com. If you are not logged in, it will ask you to sign in. From here, you just sign in with your LinkedIn, and after that click on create application. We have created the application for all the integrations. Here we are also going to create, so we will say Udemy integration. We don't have LinkedIn page, not if this is not the one. If you don't have, you can just leave it as it is. I'm just going to take my name, which is SFDC Panther. I have created a page. If you don't have, you can just leave as it is, or you can just put, for privacy URL, I'm just putting my profile. You can see app logo is required, so we have to get this app logo. I already have. I'm just going to upload that, and the logo size is 2 into 2, that means 200 into 200. If you have more than that, you will not be able to upload that. Just agree the terms and conditions and click on create application. So now you have this application. You can see I can just verify if I want. I am not going to do that. And then you have all these things. First thing that you need to do is just go to this auth tab. You can see this is our client ID, this is our client secret, and we have this OAuth 2.0 settings. What we can do is we can just click on edit. You will see we have got this add redirect URI. We need that, so let's get back to our page that we just created. Copy the URL, paste it over here. So what we did is we created an application, we added LinkedIn URL, that's it. Now what it's saying that OAuth 2.0 scopes. Scope defines what your app can do on a user behalf, that we already discussed. OAuth consent screen will display to with the description of all the permissions that we also have seen while we are trying to integrate with QuickBooks and Google Calendar. Now what we need to do is just copy this and get back to our metadata. Click on new here, and the name that I'm going to give is again LinkedIn token. Client ID, we need this client ID, and then if we get back here, click on reveal secret, copy this, and then put inside the client secret field. Now scope, what scope we need to do is, and what is the page name? We already know why we are using that page name. We no need to worry about this access token, refresh token, and all these fields. This will get automatically populated when we will write our code. And then you can see we have got this profile URL, that means the logged in user or the authenticated user which is working with LinkedIn integration. How to get that information? Here is the base URL, and we are also going to share some post with the LinkedIn, so we have got that URL as well. Now next thing that we need to talk about is scope. We know that scope is something which defines the level of permission on user behalf, what level of permission that an application can perform. So for that we need to read the authentication API of our LinkedIn. So what we will do is we'll just say LinkedIn API documentation, and you can see there is a second link which is saying authenticated with OAuth 2.0 overview. We just click on that, and under the overview section you can see authorized code flow. You just click here, and it is saying three-legged, but that is actually two-legged. Why I'm saying two-legged? Because it is using OAuth 2.0, and the very first step is to get the authorization code, and second step is to get the access token. While LinkedIn has mentioned as three-legged authentication, the reason is that in the very first step they are saying that we have to enable or we have to create a LinkedIn application. So you can see that we have already set up that application. That is not a part of OAuth 2.0. So that's why they have stated is as a three-legged authentication. Now if we scroll down here, you can see we have got this authorization URL. Okay, if we get back to our metadata, you can see we have got this OAuth URL. If I copy paste, I can see this is the auth URL. And if I scroll down a bit more for getting that access token, I can see this is the URL for getting the access token. I can just quickly get back and verify it. So these are the values that are pre-populated on the default value for that field. So what we need to do is, let's quickly get back to the first or second step where we need to get the scopes. So just copy all these scopes that we all need, because we need these scopes which are comma space separated. If you want, you can just go to say URL decode, and we can just try to see what and how exactly we need to pass the scopes while you are trying to integrate. So decode this. You can see all these are space separated like Google. Now what we need is we need profile, definitely we need email address, and we need social members. So let's quickly copy this, and instead of that we are going to copy this and paste it over here in the scopes field. Now we have got everything we need. Let's quickly click here. Now we have got our custom metadata. Next thing that we do is we usually create a custom label. I'm just going to search for label over here, and we will create a custom label and we'll put this master label. If you have two different things over here, like you have LinkedIn token, just and space over here, you saved it, and if you click over here to the API name, you might be able to see it is not displaying. Actually, this is our master label. So use this, not this. But what we are going to do is, as a best practice, we are going to refresh this. Sorry, we are going to remove that space so that we can see like both the values are same and we can put any of these. But the value is different. You have to use this one, label one, which is master label. So I'm going to use that, and I already have this LinkedIn token. You can see, and the value is again the same. That means I already created that. So I have that. Now next step is, let's quickly prepare the URL, and we will just prepare URL and then we will try to test it. So what we are going to do is, here we have this document open. We are just going to, you can see this is our sample request. We can just copy it, get back to our notes, paste it over here. Now it is asking our client ID. So we can just get back, go to our application, copy this client ID, paste it over here. Now it is asking the redirect URI. Okay, we just go to the same URL, copy that and replace with the actual redirect URI. So we have this redirect URI up to here. State is something which is a random number. You can just leave as it is foo bar, and scope we just copy it. Now what we will do is we'll just quickly copy this URL, the same thing that we do usually, hit into this browser, and we'll see if something went wrong. In 5 minutes you will be redirected to this. Let's go to our application here. We can go to products. Okay, yeah. So what we have to do is, basically we have to select this share on LinkedIn, If we have not selected, that is why we are getting that error. And next that we have to select is sign in with LinkedIn. So these are the two products that we have to select, and the third product, which is for marketing developer forum, I believe this is not the correct for us, but we can select. It is saying pending request form. That means we have to fill some kind of form for that, but these two are review in progress. So we can just quickly refresh this and we see if our products are ready for us. Yes, these two are ready for us. Now if we try to hit this URL, then we should be able to log in into the system. So now you can see it is asking some login from my side. I can just put my password over here, and you can see this is the consent screen which we were talking about in this product in our application auth setting. If you scroll down here, it was talking about that consent screen. So this is what it is saying, that name and photo, primary email address, create, modify, delete, post comments on your behalf of. So I'm just going to allow this because I want to allow that. And once we allow here, you can see this is the code that we actually need. But we haven't put any sort of code into our VFS inside our apps class. So what we will do is we'll just quickly get back and we'll open any of the VFS. We can say QuickBooks or Google Authentication, anyone. We can just open, edit this because we need the code, and we'll just quickly do that, the work that we are doing. So we are just going to copy this, go get back to our Visual Force piece, paste it over here. First thing that we need to change is the class name, LinkedIn util, and then here, because we only have the code, so we are just going to use the code itself. So now we said if we have got the code, call this access token, and this access token, we have this method called access token, but we don't have that method inside our class LinkedIn util. So we are just going to open that. I already have that class set up for you, so we can just quickly open that here. So this is our class LinkedIn util, and this is the method called get access token. So we are just going to use that over here, get access token, and we can quickly save this. So now you can see that we have got this. Before we go ahead, let's debug the put the debug log over here, because we have to put some remote site setting. So as we know that we have to put the remote site setting when we try to make any call out. So the second step is basically anything, which is making a call out to LinkedIn authorization server to get the authentication access token. So what we will do is we'll quickly get back to document, copy the URL for the second step, and we can just quickly go ahead and add that as a remote site setting. And these are all the steps we already performed into the previous lectures and into the previous integrations. So now I will say LinkedIn token, because we have to add one more, which we will be adding additionally after this authentication process. So we added this linkedin.com, and there is one more. If we go to here, you can see this is api.linkedin.com. So we can just add quickly one more as well. I can say LinkedIn API this time and paste the URL that I have. Now we have added that. Let's quickly have a look into our code. So this is our code. We also have this method get access token, which is again preparing this second part of getting that access token. If you go to this documentation, scroll down for getting that access token. Yeah, this is the one. If you see grant type in authorization code whatever we are getting from the step redirect URI, and then we have this client ID and client secret. So these are all the parameters we have to send. The content type is application by URL form encoded, and what it is going to return is access token. And so let's quickly see what all it is going to return to us. We are also going to put the debug log there so that we can see. Yeah, let's quickly see. All these are parameters that we need to pass: client ID, code, redirect URI, client ID, client secret. So we have got over here code, client ID, client secret, redirect URI, and there is one thing, yeah, that is also here. Grant type is authorization code. So instead of let it be like this. And then again, unlike every integration, we have one helper method, which is prepare request, accepting the same number of parameters over here. That is on the bottom of the class prepare request, preparing the request, returning us the object of HTTP request. And then at the end, what it is saying is, it is just saying us some sort of success message if there is any success, and it will Okay, we are not sending any error message, so we can just quickly send the error message over here, so that if there is any kind of error occurs, we can quickly have that as well. Copy this and catch this over here as well. So now we have got this message functionality, which will give us the message in our VF code. Okay, so we have this debug as well. I can say LinkedIn's response from server. Okay, now let's quickly try to again hit the same URL that we had. I'm going to hit this. It is again asking, I'm just allowing this, and this time it should get back to my Visualforce page. My page should make an API call and give me either error or success message. So we got this success message. I'm going to load new logs over here. So this is my LinkedIn auth token page. I can just quickly get back over here. I can say user underscore debug to find the debug log, and we can see here we have got access token, and that is what we need. It's a very big access token for our LinkedIn, and then we have got this expires in. If you have noticed, there is one thing which we are not getting, which is a refresh token. Why we are not getting refresh token? If you get back over here and you see, like, the amount of time for expires in very big, it is approx 2 months. But still there is something in the API. You can just go ahead and read that API documentation, find out how to get that access token. Now what we will do is we will get back to our LinkedIn configuration, refresh this, and you can see we have got this access token, and you can see it is saying that 12/29, which is December. That means 2 months from now. So it is big number for us, and we can do the whole integration in this, and every single demo that we want for the LinkedIn purpose here. So now this is how we can authenticate, and we can perform any operation we want. Now what we want is we want to get the information of the logged in user. How we can get that? So we haven't written the code for that, but yeah, we will quickly write the code over here. So what we are going to do is, let's quickly write a code over here. I'm going to say public static void method get user information. Copy this the first 2-3 lines to get that access token, and yeah, let's quickly copy this. We're just going to copy paste because we already have reusable code. We got that endpoint. Now let's quickly again copy paste these 3 lines. Now what we need, we wanted to get the information about the profile. We don't want it to post anything, right? So what we will do is we will just say get, and this time we want in the form of JSON, and we have to pass the access token this time now, and there is no request body, so we are going to send it as a blank, but we need access token, so we are going to say that string access token equal to LinkedIn credential dot access token. Okay, and again what we will do is we will just copy this and we will say is valid, because we have to check for refresh token as well. Now if says it is not valid, so what we will do is we will say we will create one map over here. So how the map will look like, we already know. This is the map, which is token map. We just prepare one map over here, and we will say token map equal to, now we have to call our refresh token method, which is again going to accept LinkedIn credentials. Like we were sending Google and all credentials, we will say LinkedIn credentials. Now in this map we have got this access token, so what we will do is we will say access token equal to, as this is in string form, we are going to typecast, and we will say token map dot get, and what field the access token is containing, this is access token. So we are just going to contain this, saying this access token. Now we have got this access token, we are going to pass over here. Access token we just passed into our prepare request parameter. Now we have prepared the request, we just need to send that request, right? What we will do is just quickly use try catch. This might be a risky request, so we will say system.callout exception, because we are trying to make a callout. And here we will say, if in this response we are going to send, we will say http.send, and what request we wanted to send, we just prepared. And here we are going to put some checks over here. We will say response.get status code if it is two-handed, because it's a get request. Otherwise just put some sort of debug. We will say system.debug response.get body. Whatever the response we are getting, just debug that as an error. If not, we can just quickly say that system.debug We can say response from LinkedIn, and we can just quickly put the same thing over here. And if there is something goes wrong, we can just put this exception as well, so that we can get the exception. So we'll say exception dot get message. Now let's see what we are getting. Either we are getting any error, or it is letting us to save that code. Okay, so we are successfully able to save that record. Right now let's quickly see here. I'm going to call here. I'll say LinkedIn util dot get user information. Try to hit it, and we will just see the debug log over here. We can just open this, find the debug log with the help of UG-debug. Status code is 200. I can just copy this. I'm going to use my favorite JSON beautifier, which is code beautify. I just opened, paste it over here, beautify it. I can see I have got everything. I can just copy over here. You can see my last name is Singh with a cloud. My display image is nothing. This is the image URL that I can make. I got Amit, which is my first name. I got country. It is saying that preferred local, which is English. That is why it is saying that US. I got my last name. I got my ID and then first name. So this is about my profile. I can fetch my profile over here, right? And if I want to do more, I want to share something with the LinkedIn that we already talked about, we can just quickly go to LinkedIn share API. We can just read this documentation and then create some post. We can create some comments, we can create some likes. That is all we are going to do into the next lecture. So this is it for this lecture, and let's see if I have anything for that. So this is authentication using LinkedIn and Salesforce. We already did. We created a remote site settings, custom metadata, custom label, a visual force page,